So it's exam season a couple years ago, and I'm sitting around a lunch table eating lunch with my friends. So that morning, I had done a solid 2 hours of study for my exams, and I was done for the day. And so I finished my work, and I went to lunch, and I'm sitting with all my friends. And I'm like, hey guys, after lunch, do you guys want to play some basketball, shoot some hoops, practice playing a bit of basketball? And every single one of them were like, nah, bro, it's exam season. We got to study. And so I'm like, okay, how about later this afternoon or tonight, you guys want to play then? And they're like, nah, bro, like, we got to keep study all day, bro. Like, exams are this week. And at the moment, I realized these guys are spending all day studying, and I'm done studying before lunchtime. And not only that, and this is not to show off anything, I know that I'm going to get better grades than all of them. Now, I'm not some genius or anything, but I just study smart. So in this video, I'll share with you how to exactly do more in less time. So how do most students study? Most students study all day. But here's the thing, they don't study efficiently. Because here's a fact I learned from the book Deep Work by Cal Newport. Cal Newport says that the best minds in the world can focus 100% for about 4 hours max per day. Yet these students are studying like 12, 13 hours a day. So what does that mean? That means they're not focusing at full capacity. So if you want to study less, you need to focus better. So bro, I promise you, you can do more work in 2 hours of intense focus, 2 hours of intense deep work, than you can in 10 hours of the way most people study. So bro, if you want more free time, if you want to study less, you need to focus on improving your focus. So in this video, I'll explain to you how exactly to do that. So bro, here's the ideal scenario. You want to be studying, focusing so intensely that your eyes don't even leave the screen. You are just 100% focused. Because here's why. When you focus, you don't just like drop into maximum focus straight away when you're working. You have to actually build up some momentum before you reach your maximum focus ability. I like to think of it as like a plane taking off. A plane doesn't just like turn on and then take off into the sky. It needs to accelerate down the runway, right? So that's how focus works. You need to build the momentum until you achieve that full focus. But how do most students study? They'll focus for like 5 minutes and they'll get distracted, checking their phone, checking their notifications, talking to the person next to them. This kind of shallow work makes you 5 times less efficient. So in 10 hours of that shallow work, you could get that done in 2 hours of intense focused work. So how exactly do you reach this peak focus state? So first of all, you need to make it a habit. You have to realize right now that your focus is probably terrible. You've never trained your ability to fully focus. So you might only be able to do like 90 minutes right now or 1 hour of intense focus. So make it a habit. Pick the same time every day and make that your focus block, your study block. And in that period of like 1 hour, 2 hours, you make it your goal to focus as intensely as you can. Now, I learned this from the scientist Andrew Huberman. If you study at the same time every day or do work at the same time every day, it primes your brain to get ready to focus at that time. So when you study, you want to set up your environment so that you do not pull your attention away from your screen at all. So bro, that means turning off your notifications. Because if a notification goes off, it takes your attention away from your focus. It's like you're getting ready to take off and you just stop the plane. That's what it's like when you check your notifications. So that's the first thing, notifications. The second thing is you don't want to have anything in your peripheral vision. This is why don't study at a library. Or if you do study at a library, find a corner of the library that you're like facing a wall. Because if there's stuff going on in your peripheral vision, you're going to get distracted and it's going to take your attention away. Again, it's like stopping that plane from taking off. Oh, one tip on this, by the way. You can keep your focus, your vision much more like locked. If you like wear a hat, like wear a hat or like put up your hoodie, you can keep your vision much more locked in place. And one more thing, sounds can also pull your attention away. So if you're in your room and it's nice and quiet, then no problem. But if you're in the library or somewhere in public and it's kind of loud, you might want to like block the sound off. So what I like to do is sometimes I like to play pink noise or white noise or brown noise. If you play brown noise or pink noise, it kind of like keeps your ears busy so your ears are not getting pulled in all different directions. So you can play brown noise or pink noise. And there's this other thing I learned from Andrew Huberman. I personally don't do this a lot, but he says if you listen to something called binaural beats at the beginning of your study session, it allows you to drop into that focus mode much more quick. So if you're interested, search up like binaural beats, Andrew Huberman or something, and see if this works for you. But on this, do not listen to music, especially music with lyrics, while you're studying. Because if you're listening to music with lyrics, it's kind of like pulling your attention away all the time. It's like that plane analogy. It's like the plane's about to take off and your mind gets pulled to the music and the plane stops. It's like that. So you need to stop listening to music when you study. Now, I made a video a couple days ago about like, stop listening to music. And I mentioned this point about not listening to music while you focus. And some guys are like, oh bro, but I need to listen to music to focus. So maybe you're an exception, I don't know. But just pay attention. Do you get distracted by the music when you're trying to study? Because most people are like that. And if that's you, then stop listening to music while you study. Third thing, your thoughts are going to distract you. You know, you're going to daydream. Your thoughts are going to pull you in different directions. No problem. Don't judge that. Just bring your focus back. And after about 15 to 20 minutes, your thoughts will go away. You'll achieve flow state. You'll be in full focus mode. And that's where your output is maximum. And now this is a big one. This tip that I'm going to give you will literally, in my experience, 3 times your output. So you can do 6 hours of work in 2 hours. And this is, do not eat food before you study. Now here's why. I learned this from the scientist Andrew Huberman. When you eat, your body has to digest the food, right? That takes about 60% of your body's resources. A ton of energy goes towards digesting that food. So bro, if you eat before you study, you're literally taking 60% of your energy away because your brain needs energy as well. So trust me, bro, if you've never done this before, you need to try this. Study before you even eat anything for the day. So wake up and study before you eat breakfast. Bro, if you've never done this before, you will reach a focus level that you've never experienced in your life. When I first did this, my mind was blown. It was like my mind was still for the first time. You know, I didn't have these thoughts pulling me everywhere. My mind was actually still, and I could just focus on one thing because I wasn't digesting food. So this is what you need to do, bro, the exact steps. So I know at the beginning I said that the best minds can only work for 4 hours a day of maximum focus. But you're not the best minds yet, right? So you need to start with like 1 or 2 hours a day where you make it your goal to focus as intensely as possible. And make it before you eat. So here's exactly what you do. Pick a time in the morning where every single day, you're going to try to bust out 60 to 120 minutes of full, intense focus work where your eyes are not being pulled everywhere, your notifications are off, your phone's away, you haven't eaten, have coffee if you want, but you're making it your goal where your eyes literally do not leave the screen. And get into the habit of doing this every day. You're going to prime your brain to make that into a focus mode. And I guarantee you do this in that 90-minute block, you will be able to get more done than you ever could in like 6 hours. You will get more hours of your life back. You will destroy everyone else. And bro, if you want to learn more about this, I highly recommend the book Deep Work by Cal Newport, or watch the Focus podcasts by scientist Andrew Huberman. They will teach you how to achieve this full focus capacity. Because bro, everyone tries to study more and longer and longer and longer, but they don't realize that the best return on investment is improving your focus. The ability to focus is a skill that no one learns. Because here's a false belief that people have about focus. People think they can focus 100%, but they just have to turn it on. It's like, yeah bro, like if I wanted to, I could focus 100%, no problem, but I just don't want to turn it on. That's completely false. You need to train your ability to focus. Your ability to focus is a skill on its own. The best minds in the world, like I said earlier, can focus for 4 hours a day max. Right now, your focus is probably terrible. You might only be able to do 1 or 2 hours of full focus a day. So start with that. Instead of studying longer, make this 90-minute block every morning better and better and better. And honestly, for me, this is my favorite part of the day. I look forward to my morning deep block session. A deep work block session, because it's like the funnest part of my day. I just enter this flow, this zen mode where there's no thoughts in my mind and I'm just busting out the work that I know I need to do. So if this video helped, subscribe. See you later.